Police had to be called onto Jaws Beach yesterday, where members of the Saving Clifton organization and partners of the Coalition to Protect Clifton Bay plan to hold separate functions on the popular beach. In February, a feud erupted between attorney and founder of Saving Clifton again, Code Smith, and investor Louis Bacon over the land which Smith says is not public property but belongs to the Bahamian people. Smith says he is of the view that the press conference scheduled on Sunday was heavily influenced by Louis Bacon, who is a close friend of Robert Kennedy Jr., who is in the Bahamas to launch a new Water Keeper program. LaDon Davis was in the middle of all the controversy.
Why does he have to come over here where he knows his boss, Mr. Louis Bacon, and me have a beef?
When ZNS News arrived at Jaws Beach shortly before 12 o'clock on Sunday afternoon for a press conference to launch the Waterkeeper Alliance Bahamas chapter by American Robert Kennedy, we met two police officers standing armed with machine guns guarding the entrance. We were prevented from entering the Jaws Beach area by those officers due to an ongoing dispute brewing over the beach, even though the property is owned by the Bahamian people. Founder of the Saving Clifton Again and Renegotiate.org campaign, attorney Code Smith, explained what really transpired.
Mr. Kennedy, this is the foreign fellow, this is not a Bahamian Kennedy, this is a foreign person, intended to come here today to dive off of the dock that we are now repairing in symbolic gesture for his conservation campaign.
Now, the number of police present at that scene on Sunday increased to at least 10, but strangely enough, Smith says only one officer approached him.
As I'm standing now, because I'm highly perched on some of the stones in the dock itself, who do I see? I see this bald-headed fellow who I've seen tens of times. I mean, I don't know how many times I've seen him going into Life with Key to my client. He works for Mr. Louis Bacon out here. And I was saying, I was trying to figure out how the police just showed up so soon after we came. He is there, and he's making the calls, and he walked over to one of the police officers while I was standing there. So I shouted out to the most senior officer there at the time, and I said, why is Mr. Louis Bacon employee out here?
Although we were not able to gain access to Jaws Beach, the press conference by Robert Kennedy did take place near the entrance at the Clifton Heritage sign. Now, ZNS News also questioned attorney Fred Smith about that alleged violent brawl involving Code Smith last week Thursday. He responded this way.
I have nothing going on with Code Smith. Code is a colleague of mine. He is a friend. We have worked professionally for 15, 20 years. I don't know where he or others may be thinking that there's a feud. I have no truck with Code Smith. Now, there was an incident last Thursday, which is going to be dealt with in due course.
Meantime, Robert Kennedy offered no comments regarding the ongoing feud to save Clifton. LaDon Davis, ZNS Network News.